Hello guys, it's me Victoria, and today I want to talk about something slightly scandalous. And that is how to take your sex life to the next level. So, this is one of my favorite topics. I don't talk about it much on my YouTube channel. Alright, so you got your plain boring old sex life. Well, you might not know, but there's a whole nother level. The level of your brain, your mind. A lot of people don't take it there, I think. And how do I know this? Well, for one thing, when I was working as a stripper, I confronted many people and asked them, like, what are you into? What are your fantasies? And they were just like, fantasies? Yeah, like, I don't really know. I don't have any. I'm like, you're telling me you don't have fantasies? Like, what? So, my number one tip to take your sex life to the next level is you have to know your fantasies. Know your fantasies. I mean, I know my fantasies. There's a lot. There's a whole list. Like, I probably couldn't even write them down because each fantasy is so detailed, but I know the general themes. I know the top 10. I know the top 20 probably. So how do you figure out your fantasies? Well, what are the patterns, all right? When you're thinking about something and it's so hot and it just triggers these little areas in your brain, you're just like, what are the patterns? What are the kinks? What are the fetishes? Do you just love to watch threesomes, right? I mean, that's pretty common. Write them down, know them, get to know them, observe the patterns. For me, I like to read this website. It's called Literotica. It's amateur erotic stories. By reading a lot of those, you get to know exactly what you're into, and oh, did I ever learn. So once you know your fantasies, that's going to bring me to step number 2, which is share your fantasies. You need to have a discussion, all right? It can be during the act, or it can just be a sit-down tete-a-tete. You want to say, what are your fantasies? What are you into? And if your partner's like, I'm not sure, just being like, what do you like to watch when you're watching porn? What, maybe you can give them some cues, like, do you like threesomes? Do you like... Make sure they open up. Eventually, you want to have an honest talk together about your fantasies. You want to share yours. He or she needs to share theirs. Once you got this meeting of the minds, then the fun starts. Once they know your fantasies, once you know their fantasies, now the magic happens, which brings me to point number 3. Make your fantasies happen. Now, there's 3 ways to do this. Number 1, dirty talk. Now, I have a lot to say about this topic, like dirty talk. It doesn't have to be what you hear in the movies, if you will. It doesn't have to be like this really fake voice. The same 3 things you hear everyone saying. I can't say them. Maybe YouTube will censor me. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I should say them, but let's just keep it PG for now. Alright, you don't have to say the same stereotypical things every fake person in porn says. It's so fake, it's so unimaginative, it's so lame. No, dirty talk just means communication. If you want to say what you're feeling, if you want to say what you're imagining, if you want to say what something reminds you of, if you just go within and something comes to you and you just want to channel that. If you want to say like your thoughts about how the person makes you feel, like all of that is dirty talk. Dirty talk does not have to mention the same explicit words for your genitalia to be sexy. No, there's so much more to it. Just think of dirty talk as talk. Talking. I'm into it. Number 2 way to make your fantasies happen is roleplay. So you can act stuff out. And no, it's not funny, because I hate when people are like, oh my god, I would just crack up laughing. I'm like, commitment. 100% commitment to the role. When you're in an improv class, you don't just be like, that's so funny. No, you commit to your character until the scene crashes and burns. You go down with the ship. Same thing with role play, alright? Make a commitment to commit to your role and don't just be like, oh, wow, we're best friends and we laugh at each other, alright? I mean, there's a time and a place for that. The time and the place is not the actual scene. No. So you want to just do your best to act out the role. Alright, number 3 thing I have written is, you can tell each other stories. One person is listening, the other person is telling a story they made up about the other person's fantasy. The other person is bringing themselves to orgasm. That's really good. Number 4 thing is take it next level, alright? That's between you guys. Maybe you have more elaborate fantasies. YOLO, you only live once. So make those happen. The way you make them happen is a website called fetlife.com. You can place an ad for participants. People have done a lot of elaborate fantasies on there. So can you. And then no longer is your sex life some boring, vanilla. I'm not saying it's boring. I mean, it's not boring, but it just skyrockets it into the stratosphere of a whole world of imaginative possibilities, scenes, fantasies, storylines, plot lines, a movie where you're the star of the show, and the movie is hot. So these are my biggest tips about like taking your sex life to the next level and making it never boring. So what do you guys think of this? Comment down below.